Our son had spontaneous brain bleed about 8 months ago, so really new and fresh for us, and so we're still kind of working through the day-to-day challenges, and they suspect a lesion in his brainstem caused the brain bleed. So prior to that, healthy 8-year-old, and he turned 9 in the hospital. So that's why we're here. So just to connect with other families. So our son's injury was a little bit different in nature, I know, compared to a lot of the other families that are here today, but it's still been nice just to connect with others in the challenges that we're kind of seeing day to day. He basically had a hemorrhagic stroke, so he was immediately taken to the hospital. We lost about 6 to 7 hours in transport, and so he had a hydrocephalus when we got to the hospital, so he had surgery to relieve the pressure on his brain immediately, and then he was on the floor heavily sedated for almost a month, and then we transferred to another hospital where we kind of walked slowly through the recovery process, and he was brought out or off the sedation, and then we started therapy. And so they initially thought he had locked-in syndrome because he wasn't moving or talking or anything for that matter, and so we started slow therapy inpatient, and then we got home in June, and he's just flown since then. I mean, he's learning to walk and talk again, and it's slow. But he's doing it, and we knew that he could from day one. So we have a friend in Waco who's an orthopedic surgeon, and he knows Joey McGuire, who was a coach at Baylor, and Joey, who's now the head tech football coach, knows Tim, and that was the connection that led us to Tim. And the friend, his name's Brad Gillum. Brad brought us Tim's book when we were in the hospital in Dallas, and I got a lot of books, and I'll be honest with you, you don't have time to read all of them, but it was kind of a God thing. He met us at our oldest son's football game or baseball game, and the first one I had been to outside of the hospital, and he's like, you got to read this book, you have to connect with Tim, and so we did. And then Tim ended up coming from Lubbock to see us in the hospital in Dallas, and the rest is kind of history. He's been by our side ever since and really been a mentor to us through all of this, and told us you have to come to the conference, and so that's why we're here. Lots of families that have similar struggles, and so many similarities in what we're walking through right now in this journey, and so just connecting with those other families and meeting others, and then meeting a lot of the not just caregivers, but even the speakers here has been really impactful and helpful to us. For us right now, it's pretty new. So we struggle with the highs and lows of the day-to-day caregiving, and I think that a lot of these other families that have been doing it for some time, they inspire us to continue fighting every day, knowing that even small improvements are worthwhile, and they just kind of give us that energy and inspiration and, for lack of a better word, the refresh that we need to keep going. I would encourage all families that if you've had any kind of brain injury, I'd love to see those families here to experience this, make those connections, and learn about everything that's available to you and all these resources, because there are a lot of people here and resources here that we would not have otherwise known about if we weren't here. So.